If you lose attention during the pitch, you will lose the sale. Today, I'll show you why that's happening and 5 science-backed ways to fix it. We've closed 1,000 of our own B2B clients. We're ranked as one of the fastest growing companies. I've reviewed thousands of sales calls, trained hundreds of sales teams, and the pattern is always the same. Reason number 1 is info dumping. Fastest way to kill your pitch and lose the deal is to info dump. The human brain filters out 90% of what it hears. The more you talk, the faster your prospect checks out. You keep attention by keeping things simple and asking good questions like, what questions do you have? How would you see this helping you? How else? In what ways? Is your team open to these kind of ideas? Get rid of the fire hose of information hoping that it lands and gets the deal and start engaging your prospects during the pitch. Why info dumping fails is because of cognitive overload. Studies show that our working memory only holds 4 chunks of information at a time. As you start giving it 5 and 6 and 7, all these things, they're going to lose everything past those first 3 or 4. And even those first 3 or 4 things are going to lose their relevance too. When you overload buyers, their default checkout answer is going to be no, or let me run it by my team, or looks great, send me the proposal. The fix is to keep things simple, bite-sized, and interactive. Example, share one insight. Here's one point. How do you think that would impact your team? Let them answer. Let the pitch be something where you're actually engaging together. The pitch is not the time to drown your prospect in data. The pitch should be designed to spark a dialogue. Reason number 2 is linear pitching. But what the is linear pitching? Most people lose attention because they pitch in straight lines. Linear, boring, predictable. Prospects already know where you're going, what you're going to say, and so they lose interest. You want to break the script with pattern interrupts. Like, hey, John, I know a lot of people say this, this, and this, but the reality is that's actually a wrong strategy. You mentioned that you tried that with a company before. How we operate is this, this, and this. You want to break the script with a pattern interrupts. It could be something like, most companies, they think they just need more leads. That's going to get my prospect to lean in. What's Tim about to say? He sells leads. But what we found is a lot of times, if you give great leads to a company, it's not going to convert unless you have these 2 other things in place. Do you have those 2 things in place? When done right, your prospect leans in and starts dialoguing with you during the pitch. The simple psychology here is that novelty triggers dopamine, which then spikes their attention. Go through your pitch, start seeing where it feels predictable, and start asking, where can I add pattern interrupts to spark curiosity and dialogue? Reason 3 is no open loops, aka curiosity gaps. The reason why you binge Netflix is something called open loops. The end of every episode ends with a gap that has to be resolved. Sales works the same way. Plant open loops like, hey, there's one thing that kills the pipeline more than anything else. I'll tell you about later in our call. That gap keeps prospects interested in leaning in on your call versus drifting off and getting bored. Lowenstein's information gap theory says that curiosity simply comes from the tension from missing knowledge. So when you can create that gap, that tension of missing knowledge, you're going to spark curiosity and keep your prospect leaning forward. So as you watch Netflix, start to see how they create these gaps and start applying that kind of psychological principle into your sales call and your pitches. And I promise you, you're going to start seeing a tension spike big time. Reason number 4 I see happen all the time, and it's talking about your thing versus their problems. In sales, nobody cares about who you are or what you do because they have their own problems they're dealing with. But the moment you start talking about and caring about their problems, they'll start being interested in what it is you do. So instead of saying, here's what we do, say, hey, you mentioned that consistency in your lead flow has been a challenge for a few years now, right? Yes. Well, do you want me to walk you through how we've helped other agencies create consistency and predictability in their lead flow? They're going to say yes. Now you're positioning yourself to solve their lead flow problem versus showing them your cool thing that they should buy. Simple as that. Buyers don't care about your rewards that we have a combined experience of 2,562 years. What the heck is combined experience anyways? Get that out of my face. They don't care. The only thing they care about is, can this person solve my problem? Because I don't like talking to salespeople. I don't want to go do something else, but I'm here because I need a problem solved. Can this person do it? So instead of talking about you and how cool you are and all the cool things you do, yeah, you got to build yourself up a little bit, but anchor the call and the whole purpose of this conversation in their problem. Simple example, say you're an ad agency. Hey, John, you mentioned that your scalability for your ads is kind of tough once you get past 150,000 a month in ad spend. Do you want me to show you you how we've been able to profitably scale some of our clients upwards of $1 million a month in ad spend? If they've been struggling to get past $150,000 a month in ad spend, how do you think they're going to respond to that question? Commons prospect theory states that people are twice as motivated to avoid pain than they are to pursue gain. So stop pitching you and how cool you are and the awesome things you have, and start positioning everything around the pain and the problem that they have. Reason number 5 is doing all the selling yourself. You should have your prospects sell you on calls. If you're doing all the selling, you're going to lose the deal. You should be having your prospects sell you on the call instead of saying, here's all these cool things we do, this, that, and the other, and then we do this cool thing, and then we do this cool thing, and then we do this cool thing. Ask tie downs throughout the pitch. Hey, we do XYZ. If you had that in your company, how would that help you? Oh, gotcha. How do you see that as different than the last thing you tried? Oh, wow. How else do you see this as different? How else would this help you? When you can get the prospects selling themselves on your service, the deal is as good as done. But even if you keep their attention during the pitch, you're going to lose the deal if you don't have their respect. This is what's called the status game, and it's happening on a subconscious level. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through the 8 critical mistakes that are killing your status. I'm going to walk you through what to do instead so you can win the status game and own the room.